Apologize, my heater is on because I'm in my basement and it's cold outside today. Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is going to be an update video, and normally I post videos about crocheting and occasionally some knitting. I usually do some tutorials, and once in a while I just post something that's lifestyle. And today's video, as I said before, is going to be an update video. We are now in almost mid-February. February is a short month, so we've got Valentine's Day around the corner. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to post sooner. I actually got sick at the very end of January, and I wanted to film last weekend, which would have been the first weekend of February, but I was sick and I wasn't looking cute, so you didn't want to see that. But I'm feeling better now, so we're gonna do it now. In January, I posted a video about doing a series called Bust My Stash. And what that is I am going to try to go through as much yarn as I can in my stash for the year of 2023. So each month I post a bin of yarn, and then I see what I can make out of that bin. And because it's my own rules, I can also pull yarn from other bins if I'm making a certain project and I need more yarn, because the goal is to use up as much yarn as I can, and I will try not to buy yarn if I don't have to, which I might have to. I might be doing some contract work, I'm not sure. So when I do contract work, I have to buy yarn that's readily available, because a lot of my yarn in my stash is probably, you can't get it anymore because it's really old. So I'm going to share some projects that I was able to make for the month of January, and I will also show you the January bin to see if it looks any different. And then I will show you the February bin. So why don't we get started with what I have been working on. So the first project that I have is not done yet. I started a baby blanket, and it's actually using Tunisian crochet, and I'm using a technique that I haven't really seen it before. I don't think I reinvented the wheel. I'm sure it's out there, but I just haven't seen it. And I call it my Tunisian strip technique, because you're basically making it in strips. And the nice thing with this technique is you don't have to use a Tunisian hook. So a lot of times Tunisian hooks, they're long, and regular crochet hooks are little, and so with this technique you can just use a regular crochet hook. So here is the blanket, and this technique is awesome for making like patchwork blankets. So I have lots of little bits of yarn, so here we go. You can see, I've hardly gotten started on this. So this is going to be the border here, and it's just going to be this multicolored yarn in this like pinky color, and that's going to be all the way around. And then in the middle we're just going to have a patchwork of all different colors of, this is worsted weight yarn, so number 4 yarn, all in the center of it. So it might look cute, it might look weird, I don't know. I do like patchwork blankets. I love patchwork quilts, just of all like random different fabrics. So that's kind of like the vibe that I'm going for, and I have no idea who I'm going to give it to, but someone will get it. So my next project that I am working on, I am dusting off the knitting needles. As I said before, I do knit occasionally. So here we are. I have started, here it is, oops. So this is going to be hopefully a cardigan for myself. I got this yarn for I think for my birthday, and it's really, really pretty. So here it is. It's Lion Brand Mandala or Mandala. I never know how to say it. It's this ombre. And so here are the colors. It's all different purples. And I find with this yarn, I actually kind of prefer it knitted up, just like in stockinette. So this is just stockinette, and this is the back of it. So it might look, hopefully it's going to stitch up okay, and I can like piece it together, and it's not going to look too like crazy and weird with the color combinations, but it's for me, so we'll see how it goes. Knitting is sometimes challenging, a lot of times challenging for me, so I don't know if this is going to be like really great or a complete train wreck, but hopefully it'll be pretty when it's done. And I am knitting it just straight. I often prefer that. I know knitting in the round is more ideal, but when you do have to knit the sleeves, this is the issue that I have with even crocheting, you got to make two of them. So like it's always such a struggle for me to just knit up one sleeve. So when I can knit in pieces like this, I can actually knit both the sleeves at the same time. And I guess you can't really do that when you're working them in the round, because you got to do the one side and then you got to go and do the other side. So when you're working them flat like this, you can do them both at the same time. And I have done that before, and that's great. So then when you're finally done the one sleeve, then the other one is done too, and then you're not like, I have to knit a whole other sleeve. So that is why I do that, you know. And crocheting, you can't really knit or crochet at the same time, so you just kind of have to suffer through and make one sleeve, then make another sleeve. So, but yeah, so I'm knitting, and this yarn is actually super soft. Like if this turns out cute, it's going to be really comfortable to wear. And I do love a cardigan. I'm wearing a cardigan right now. I'm kind of cardigan obsessed. So, you know, I can never have too many cardigans. So my next project is something that I made to put on my TikTok. I do have TikTok as well, where I have just like little tutorials. And I am starting a tutorial or a series, another series on my channel here. You might have noticed I've already have 2 videos up, and it's my Learn to Crochet series. So it's basically going back to the basics, starting from scratch. So if you've never crocheted before, check those videos out. But I'm making them because I am starting a knitting crocheting ministry at my church, and I know some of the people that are going to be attending do not know how to knit or crochet. So I'm not going to do a Learn to Knit series on my channel because I don't consider myself a super skilled knitter. I mean, I can knit fine, and I can teach somebody like a basic cast on and a basic knit stitch and purl stitch, but if they want to really get more advanced in their skills, they need to go to YouTube like I do. But I do consider myself a fairly skilled crocheter, so I do feel comfortable making you know, like crochet lessons. So I thought that might be a nice resource for the people in my group that want to learn to crochet, because I am in charge of this. I don't know how many people are going to be coming. It's starting this week actually, and I'm hoping that there will be some other people in the group that also are skilled at either crocheting or knitting, hopefully knitting, because I know we're going to have both knitters and crocheters there. And some people want to learn to crochet, some people want to learn to knit, some people might want to learn both. So it's really going to spread myself thin if I have to teach both, because I can't teach both at the same time. So my plan is to have some videos up for the crocheters if I'm teaching the knitting, so they can sit and watch, you know, the crocheting videos. I'm still teaching them just on the video, and you know, they don't just have to sit there and wait until I can get to them. So, you know, that's basically why I am doing this series. So that's what's going on with that. So anyway, back to TikTok. I can ramble. So I'm making this. This is a little coaster, or it could also be a little scrubby for my TikTok. And I just did, sorry, my hair keeps going in my mouth. Sorry about that. I always feel like I'm always like fussing with my hair, which I guess I am. It's a bad habit. But anyway, I just did a little tutorial on how to do the crab stitch. So I'm not sure if this is showing up well on camera, but this is the crab stitch, or also reverse single crochet. And I thought it would be nice to have a little project with it. So this is just a little coaster, or also a scrubby. You could use it for your face, or you could use it to wash dishes. I actually really love these to wash dishes because I have small hands, and using a sponge is kind of like yucky and stuff. So with these, they're perfect size for my hands to like scrub and get in there. I mean, I do have a dishwasher, but you do need to kind of like hand wash dishes a little bit. So these are perfect for that, and then I can just throw them in the wash and use them again. So I love these types of things for things like that. So yeah, if you want to check out my TikTok, I will post a link to that, and I have lots of little short form content, you know, some silly things, and a lot of just short little tutorials. And I do try to have some of them on the YouTube Shorts. I'm not super fond of the YouTube Shorts because I find they're not as user-friendly. TikTok's really easy to put up short form content, where the YouTube, I don't think it is as easy, or maybe it's just me and I'm just like stupid and can't do it and everybody else can. I don't know. So this is one of those. So maybe this will also go on a YouTube short. I'm not sure. But again, it's just like a little either coaster or scrubby, whatever you want to use it for. Okay, so on to some more, I guess these are finished projects. The one I'm showing you is actually a prototype, so I'm not really going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to kind of give you a little sneak peek. I'm going to be submitting this for some contract work. I work with this magazine called I Like Crochet sometimes, and I haven't worked with them in a while because I just really haven't been inspired by their mood boards. But this one I'm actually kind of inspired. I was like, oh, I have a lot of ideas. So I'm going to be submitting this. So this is a prototype, so I don't want to tell you what it is because I'm not allowed to in case they do accept it. I don't know, they might not accept it. They might be like, no, we don't want it. And that's okay. I'm not really offended if that happens because I've learned with magazines and things like that, they have like a set idea of what they want for that issue. So it might not, if you get rejected, like if you decide that you want to submit, don't be really devastated or hurt. Like, it is disappointing, but what it really means is it doesn't mean that your work is bad, because it's probably fine. It's just not fitting their aesthetic, what they want for that issue. That's what I've learned. So, you know, you kind of need a little bit of a thick skin because you probably will get rejected quite a bit, because I know I have. And it really has nothing to do with the work per se or your idea. It's just not fitting that issue, what they want. So, you know, this might get rejected, and if it does, I'll just make my own pattern and just sell it, you know, myself, because I actually think it's really, really nice. So here we go. So, you know, you can't tell what it is. I have it folded up. But now this yarn, I actually think this yarn is super ugly. That's why I used it for the prototype. But you know, it worked well for that, and I don't know, I just think it's got weird, like, I'm not a big fan of speckly yarn, and this is almost kind of looks like throw up in a way. But it is neutral colors, but it worked well to make the prototype. So if the prototype gets rejected, I will just make my own pattern in some prettier yarn, and you'll see what it is. I'll let you know. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more projects that I finished up. So here we have another little scrubby or coaster. I made this. This is actually a TikTok tutorial. I'm currently working on it right now. I got it. Hopefully get it done today, or have it up tomorrow, because Valentine's Day is 2 days away, and it's a little, I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's a heart. It's a puppy little heart. And again, it's another little scrubby thing. I mean, I guess it could be a coaster, might not be like super level for your cup. But I thought it was cute for a scrubby, especially because it's got little puff stitches, and that's always really nice to either scrub your face or for scrubbing dishes. So yep, we have a little scrubby. So this will be up soon on the TikTok. So my next project is an ear warmer. I still have to weave in the ends, but here we go. I don't have a pattern for this yet. I'm thinking I'm gonna have one up. I'm not sure. I used this, I had some leftover like thick blanket type yarn. It's not my favorite type of yarn to use, but it's like all the rage right now. It's very popular. And I think because it is thicker, you can work up projects really, really fast because it's thicker. So, you know, like especially if you're making a blanket, it's going to grow really quickly. And I think that's the, you know, why people love it so much. But it's not my favorite, but it has its place. I have made some really neat projects with this yarn, and I actually thought it would be really nice for an ear warmer. And this stitch is a really unique stitch I found. It's actually quite stretchy, as you can kind of see. I'm trying to see how it's a little like wrinkly. Sorry, my battery died. So we're back talking about this wrinkly. See it? You can see it's a little wrinkly. That's actually because of the type of stitch this is, because it stretches. It's almost like elastic in a way. So I thought it would make a good ear warmer, but I'm still kind of fiddling around with this stitch, trying to figure it out, and the best way to make it user-friendly. But this is an ear warmer. I still need to weave in the ends. So my next projects that I'm showing you are all hats. I've been on a hat, you know, on a roll with the hats, which part of that is because of the bits of yarn that I do have I only have enough for a hat, so that's why I've been kind of on a roll with the hats. But I do want to try to make some other things. I can make other things. So, but here we go. Here is a hat here. It's just a red kind of stretchy hat. I used it making post stitches. I think it turned out really cute. I do not have a pattern for this yet. I am thinking I will put one up. And again, it's just made with basic post stitches. And yeah, I think it turned out just a beanie style hat. I think it turned out pretty cute. I'll probably just donate it to a local charity. But yep, here is one of the hats. And then here we have another hat just with this multicolored yarn, and we have a little bit of interesting pulling going on. So it's, you can see the design here, and then I started decreasing at the top. So this was made bottom up, and then the design kind of changed with the decreases. But I think it's still, you know, just a fun this was a multicolored yarn. So you never know what you're going to get when you're working with multicolored yarn. Sometimes you get like a really neat, interesting pattern, and other times it just kind of looks like a mess. And then I have 3 more projects to show you, and I do have patterns and they up for these. They're on my channel. I don't have the one is a written pattern. I'm in the process of revising it because it's pretty old, and I was revisiting. I'm trying to revisit some of my older patterns, and I thought the math was like all like wackadoodle on that. So I thought it needs a little bit of an update. So here we go. Here it is. It's a little baby hat, and I think it's super cute. And yeah, the original pattern, it basically looks like this, except the math up here is kind of all over the place. So I fixed the numbers on that. This part down here is basically the same. So this pattern that I made, it's about 10 years old, and I had just started in my pattern making journey back then, so I didn't really know what I was doing. Math is not my strongest subject. I can do math, but I have to work at it. But because I have been making patterns for years and crocheting, I've been using my math skills a lot more, so I'm a little bit better at it than I was. And so I revised this section. So I do need to put up the revised written pattern up. I mean, I can put the original pattern, I can link it below if you want to check it out. But I will put the revised up soon, the new and improved version, I hope. I do have another one of these hats, and I can't find it. It's somewhere in my house. But I'll show you a little picture of it so you can see. That one is a green and white one. And this one was made with decate weight yarn, and the other one was made with like sport or fingering weight, so it's a little bit smaller, and you can do that with this pattern. It's a one size, but depending on the type of yarn you use, it's, you know, going to result in either a smaller hat or a larger hat. And the nice thing is with babies is they start out small and they grow. So if the hat if you decide to make this is a little bit too big, you know, the child's going to grow and it'll eventually fit. So yeah, so here is this baby hat, and then I have 2 more hats, and it's the same pattern. So here's one, here's the other. The one I still need to weave in these ends. I thought I did, and I didn't. So this is my nubbins hat, and I have this up on my channel here. I do have the written pattern for this. I need to get it published. I just need to go over the edits again just to make sure there aren't mistakes, because sometimes when I write a pattern up, I do try to get them tested sometimes. I didn't with this one. It's pretty easy, and I didn't really feel like it needed to be tested, but I just wanted to check the pattern again to make sure there wasn't any grammatical errors or anything like that. So this is the nubbins hat. It's like a beanie style, slouchy style hat, and it's really great for using up all different colors. As you can see, like this one has so I have like 8 different colors on here, and the same for this guy. So you can get all creative with this one. It's a great stash busting project. It's made, so this one is made top down, so we started at the top and then we just go all the way down. And so you can actually make this as long as you would like. You could do it exactly like the pattern here, or if you wanted a, you know, more like fitted hat to your head, less slouchy, then you can make it less rounds. But yeah, it works up really, really fast. It has these really easy little puff stitches. They're like little nubby. I just thought, oh, it's so nubby. That's why I call it nubbins hat. And It's just a fun little squishy texture, and it's a pretty comfortable hat to wear. So those were my final projects that I have made for January. And so now I'm going to show you the January bin, see if it looks any different. I will show a little clip of what it looked like before, and then I'll show you the after, and then I will show you the February bin to see what we're working with for February. So next clip you see will be that. Okay, so here we go. Here is the January bin. Here is the after. So it probably doesn't look a whole lot different, and I apologize, my heater is on because I'm in my basement and it's cold outside today. So as you can see, it might not look a whole lot different, but I actually have used some yarn out of this. So, you know, we have used some, which is good. And I did pull out, I think, 2 skeins that I'm going to be donating for my crocheting and knitting group at my church. We're going to have a swap table, so if people want to bring in yarn or tools that they don't need, maybe somebody else will want them. So I do have some that I pulled out, and hopefully somebody will want it. And so that will take care of that. But yeah, what I will end up doing is I will be pulling from these bins. So I'm going to show you the February bin. But if there's something in the February bin that might pair well with like one of these, you know, colors in here, then I'll certainly do that to, you know, because the goal is to use up as much yarn as we can for 2023. So now I'm going to show you the February bin. All right, so here we go. We have the February bin here. This one is actually not as full as the other one, but I probably will, as I said before, be able to pull from the other bin. And as you can see, it looks like there's some projects in here. So let's see what we got going on. We have this red heart. This is some old red heart, like Super Saver type yarn. I don't know how old this is, but you know, this is just a regular worsted number 4. And here we go. We have, this is an abandoned project. I remember I was trying to make like a dress, you know, like those pillowcase style dresses for my daughter, but this is some really heavy cotton yarn, and like it's all different types of cotton yarn that I use, and it is pretty, but my goodness, when I was making it, I realized this sucker is way too heavy for a small child to wear, so I abandoned it. So I will take that apart and reuse it. Here's a project. I forgot that I had made this. I need to finish it, actually. I think it's pretty. This was going to be just a cowl that I made, and this is that sock yarn. And I actually really like this, so I need to finish this one. So this will be something that I can finish. I will not be taking it apart because I do like it. The colors are looking more like peach and blue on camera, but it's actually more of like a teal color and almost like tan, orange. It sounds weird, but it's actually really pretty in real life. I mean, it looks nice on camera too. But we have, this is actually very purple. And then this was an abandoned, I think, I don't know, I was trying to make a blanket or something, and it's got some like weird, I don't know what the heck I was thinking here, but we will be taking that apart and reusing this yarn. So let's see, we also have got some basic, this is some very old vintage, they're calling this baby yarn, but this, I guess, yeah, big fingering weight, that's what they call. So we have that. Also have, let's see, down here, some balls of yarn, which might be good for that project that I'm working on, that patchwork baby blanket. So anything small like this is really good for those patchwork projects. So if you want to get rid of some small balls of yarn, you know, make a patchwork blanket or something, and you know, these are great for that. So again, this is the February bin, and we'll see what we can make out of this. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.
Or pattern stitches. I usually do videos that are crochet related. Yeah, we can talk. Someone will get it.